Sure.
All right.
No boy.
People got I can touch you. You all got a question. You all gotta go.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Akakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to Allah Akim that's doing the work with sincerity and charity, with humiliation all across the four winds. To you, I salute. All right, today we got a good lesson lineup. Lord willing, it be edifying and to serve with purpose. All right. Yeah, man, the angel is pouring out his vial upon the sun. Yeah, shit, it hard bad, boy. You know. But yeah, man, the brother got a good lesson lineup, Lord willing. You know, we're gonna get there in a minute. Right? But before we get to that, you know, I just would speak briefly on I don't know if you are familiar about this guy named LeVar Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, all right.
I think he lost one his baby.
Right. I just want to touch on this situation briefly. You know, because a lot could be learned from this situation. When I say situation, I talking about, you know, him being married, you know, for 30 years. All right. And if you didn't know, you know, there's a lot of videos out there, you know, on him and his woman or his wife, you know, was married for 30 years. And within that 30 years, somewhere around the 27, 28 year, you know, she suffered a stroke. You know, so here it is now. You don't find most men. Well, you do find most men. You know, like when they significant other, you know, is faced with some type of illness or disease or whatever. You know, they be there. The man normally be there through it. You know, and he was going through some old videos and he was showing man, you know, the process of, you know, getting her back together.
Therapy.
Right, through therapy, because you know, after suffering a stroke, you know, you walk with a limp and all of that, you know, and of course, you know, he had the money to do so. And on top of that, but everybody know what type of father he is, you know, right. So the same type of training, you know, he would have trained his son with. It's basically the same thing with his wife. So then he, you know, him being there, you know, and nurturing her back to health, you know, everything fine and good now. Now, yeah, he now had a health scare. Right? First, he said, man, he lose a toe. Then he lose another toe. Then they tell him, well, man, he got to lose a leg now, you know, about knee high. You know, and so, man, just a year later, him nurturing his wife back to health, whatever. Now, he suffer, you know. So now, yeah, there's now, she can tell him now, she can't deal with that. She wants something else. Divorce her husband. You ever see any shit like that?
Wow. That's a testament that we as men, we were instructed to love our wives. We marry for love. They marry for security.
Right. And there ain't no way in the scripture to tell us that, you know, to love your wife. You know what I mean?
We instructed to love them. They were
Right.
instructed to love us.
Right. So like, yeah.
And also,
Go ahead, brother.
men love unconditional.
Right.
Woman love conditional.
Under condition.
Exactly.
Right. You know, so he was telling someone in the house, I think it's none of his sons, you know, because he was saying, man, oh man, he want a woman and he don't want her to work. He love her. He said, well, hell no, but he said, no, but he said she gotta be able to offer something, bring something, you know, to the table. You know, said because love, someone else could give her that love for free. Man, and after he said that, I said, damn, you know, that's true. See what I said? So if something like that could happen to, you know, LeVar Ball, not only him, because you know if you know him, you know, basically his life is a whole branch. build an empire from the ground up. So these niggas got money to the point where money can't do nothing for them no more. You know? So yeah, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Friends 52, Bible going to shoot your spot.
Right, you could bring that precept, brother. Okay? Because it is, and that's a clear indication too that when you see time for the MOTB to be implemented, all right, a lot of these women, you think they're gonna give up that comfort? Yep,
Even some of the said who might say shalom.
that's it.
You never know.
Never know.
Sirach 26 and 11. Watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee.
That's it. The Bible tell you, man, you know, don't be surprised, if she damn do some shit.
God, verse 12 says, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain and drank of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open a quiver against every arrow.
Right.
Water is sustenance. So if she ain't getting water from here, where you think she can go? She can go to somewhere else where she gets something to drink. She ain't want to suffer the drought. She always want her thirst quenched.
That's it.
Right now you find yourself in a drought where he lost his leg, he having a health problem. But now she see that as a drought. She want to find something better.
Yep. So she leave him. She can't deal with that. She wants something different. After all these years. You see? And that to show you, but they ain't no good. They ain't no good. You understand? Boy, I tell you, when I see that story yesterday, I could only smile and shake my head. All right, you got something that I want?
Wait, brother.
Yep. That's a bunch of shit, man. That's a bunch of shit. All right. Yeah, that Isaiah 32. All right. Rise to be woman at ease.
Yeah.
All right, because when you see this happen now, that comfort gone. When you see the MOT been implemented, okay, like the brother say, some of these same women would say in Shalom, all right, they can damn right, they can damn trade and they skate for a pum pum. You watch it.
I think it's comfortable, man. And that's the stuff real hardship. Yeah, the majority of the hardship, the men, they shoulder, they take on. When shit really hit the fun, where some of that already started to trickle onto them.
It's been really
That's when you really know.
That's it.
Ain't no real hardship in them yet.
That's it.
We still provide little comforts for them.
Yes, we provide a little comfort, but ultimately, man, when you see that time come, all right, when you look at it, that's a sifting process as well.
That's it.
All right.
32 and 9. Rise up, ye women that are ears, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech.
Right. All right. So everything fine and good. You understand? And he talking good on her behalf, whatever. He ain't saying nothing negative. I'm guessing he probably only doing that to save his face, whatever. You understand? But behind closed doors, you never know what he might be saying, because man, shit, he been thinking, well, hey, man, this woman been down with me for 30 years, all these years and shit. Raised a family, raised 3 sons. You understand? And now, yeah, this man, you leave that to go and deal with a younger man who ain't got shit. Yep. That's it. She even ain't consider a family. You understand? That goes to show, right? A woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness.
A man will sacrifice his happiness
for his family. You see? This is the kind of shit we face with.
Why you think? Hey, that's another reason why the Lord put a man over a woman.
That's it.
Because Yahweh Shai, will sacrifice himself, for the nation of Israel, for us. Then you want me to sacrifice herself for our family?
No, but she all about self.
Self-preservation.
All right.
Right, I get this. We can bring this real quick, brother. This
Go
is
ahead.
Rock 25 and 22. I can bring it in the DND also. I can read it in KTV first. A woman, if she maintain her husband is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. I can bring it in the GNT. It says, when a man is supported by his wife, there is sure to be anger, arrogance, and humiliation.
Yeah. All right. But in this case, man, he's the breadwinner.
That's it.
All right. So whatever she got now, she got from him.
That's it.
You know, and I want you to believe, you know, she had that down heart a long time ago to do. And just because he leave, that's him because he lose a leg.
Been storing up and planning a long time.
That's it.
A lot of times they just need a reason.
That's it.
He never gave her a reason because I think he ever step up. He ain't seem like he ever beat up or nothing of the sort. He just needed a reason.
That's it.
That's why the prophecy was Lamuel's mother told him, you know, don't give your strength to them, boy.
You know, but and the thing about it, this man always family centered. You know, he was always about it, you know, his family and his boys and whatnot. And you know, he grooming them and you know, the skill of basketball and whatnot. He was here and he made them the man that you know they are today. You know, and this woman was still kicking to the curb. You know,
That's
after
it.
all of this you know, welfare he brought into the home and to the family and whatnot. You know, he made that family who they are. Put them up all this.
Yeah. But you know, with things like that, right? It usually is come back to bite them in the ass. Because we have to understand they're emotional creatures. They wired that way, they can't help it. You see? And then when the lust part of things wear off, then reality gets set in and he can turn around and say, oh, she shouldn't have do this, and then she can try to go back.
She gonna
That
be
almost always has happened.
Done.
They fall in love with the now, you know, with the thrill. Once that thrill gone, I think that was reality.
Well, the scripture says, who can find a virtuous woman, right?
Yeah.
All them years, you know,
That's it. You know, she been check out of that a long time ago.
long time.
Even while he was there supporting her through her damn time or a low moment. She been on check out of there a long time.
Scripture tell you all wickedness is but little wickedness.
Done.
And Salaki, right? That Babylon energy, feminism, don't care if, you know, once they raised in that culture in Babylon, trust me, you know, yeah, he was family orientated, right? But these women nowadays, we know how they go. You know, only for so long they could be architecturally, you know?
Yeah, man. He brought nothing but shame and disgrace, not only the husband, but to herself.
And you see, Salaki, he almost like who the coach name now? The coach man, Sanders, Deion Sanders, you know, he all there. You see, these women don't like men who tell them what to do now. They have been, she been going through that for a long time, but you know, somebody putting things in her head.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just thought that I should mention that briefly, you know, because man, you know, we all can learn a lesson from that.
Babylon, she was fasting.
Yeah. Right, that seems Rock up 25. All the things, but many of the things doesn't.
Good.
This is the RSV version, right? It says any iniquity is insignificant compared to a wife's iniquity. May a sinner's Lord before Allah. So anything you can ever think of is insignificant to what a wife could do to her husband.
Good.
That's danger. Boy, that's scary.
Yeah. God, man, like the elder brother Malcolm would say, man, the minute we get on those damn slave ship, our woman betray us. You know, from back then up to this present time. All right. And switch gears to something a little different now. All right, then I turn it over to the brother. All right, we give it a Leviticus, I think it's 20 and Someone could grab that Romans first chapter.
Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committed adultery with another
Jump to
man.
lock it straight 13.
Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Right. All right, and that's plain. So if you like man and you lay with man, like old man lay with woman, you bring in that upon yourself. All right. And the Most High don't play. You know, and these words they are forever. You understand? And we as a cursed people, I can share something with you right now. All right, before you bring that Romans chapter 1, get Deuteronomy 28 and 28 and 29.
Yeah.
All right, 'cause I can show you something now.
Deuteronomy 28. Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Right. So that cause you to lose your head, you be bug out.
And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee.
Right. All right, but focusing mainly on Deuteronomy 28 and 28. Now, all right, well, roughly 2-3 years ago, somewhere around there. All right, the fellas, the work was sharing with me Friday. The work. Now we all know this little nigga. He dead now. All right, if they find him, you know, in the house, they say, well, he must be strangled when he dead, whatever. Right? Now, if you know this little nigga, you'll think that, yeah, he cool, whatever. Right? But then they say the whole time, this nigga was a sissy. You know, but at the same time, he was also dangerous now. Don't get me wrong. Right? So yeah, there's now, you know, this boy used to be basically human trafficking back and forth in the States. Don't you know what I'm talking about, man? The little boy, he had the black car around him, riding around. Right. Now, yeah, he's a good captain, though. Or was a good captain. So, yeah, there's now, he take one little boy from Low Sound. The little boy from Low Sound go on with him, you know, in the boat, whatever. So he got a boy with him, cut off the engines out in the ocean, pull gun on the fella, the little boy, and he sodomized him. You see? Bring him back, bring the fella back in, you know. For me, bring the people say, from that boy come off that boat, he was in the fin. You know, the little fella, he ended up getting a job with us, but with that shit, that's why I bring out that Deuteronomy 28. Man, this morning when I was coming by you, I see the nigga on the highway flicking, walking.
That's the same.
Bug right out.
That's the same boy we're walking.
Yeah.
Young boy.
Young boy.
I try to
Yeah.
wonder.
Okay.
That's the
Nigga
boy.
bug right out. Huh?
That's the boy who used to be with him.
Yeah.
What a freeze.
He sodomized him. He pulled gun on him and he sodomized him. You see? How people get to know. When he come out the boat, nigga sit on the porch there, zone right out. You see, and then he started talking, saying, man, what the boy do to him. There you go.
It's a locking of the cut you off, brother. You know, coming on the corner, I saw a young Jake, you know. Someone was trying to give him a ride. The young Jake said, man, he started to get angry at the woman, you know. I could see his little hand gesture, like he started to get angry. I said, what's going on, this dude? And then I saw him earlier. I said, man, what happened to this boy walking? I never seen him walking. It looks strange, you know what, son?
Yeah. You know, because man, he ended up getting a job out there with us. You know?
The girl from Thingam Park pick him up, right? Bamsey, yeah.
Right? But now, he ended up, you know, because we ain't even coming away. And then when he do come away, you know, he's sleeping all day. So they end up firing him. You see, but man, I say, boy, something ain't right. But now, yeah, it is, man. That's what flicking going on. See what I said? But the most high cool.
Give him a horrible day.
You understand? That one flicking dead, and the next one wrong you flicking, walking around losing his mind. That's it.
Wicked souls.
See?
That boy was walking around with his hair going on. He might have done something. No one, nobody, no.
That's my point exactly.
And Salaki, right? You know, I used to see the young Jake all the time, right? I trying to wonder all of a sudden, he walking around in the hot sun. I talking about extremely hot. And I was like, puzzles. I say, man, he refusing ride.
Yeah, boy. They're going to highway, bug right out. I completely bug out.
Everything, right?
That I telling you, boy. You see? Most high. Yep. You got something? You got something, brother?
That's a
Wait,
even just a margin in that, like that whole deal, like going all the way out to sea and get a firearm pull on you and you.
what should you do?
What's
up, brother?
Yeah, bring it.
There's the boys go fishing or something. Or they
That-
just
That was the intent. That was the captain intention. You see? The boy, he wanted to go on a run with him.
Yeah.
See what I said? Because he see, your boy going through a couple of times and he end up getting through, by himself one little ride, whatever.
Buy two ride. Flexing.
See what I said?
See, this what's happened when these young boys, these feminine, they don't want to work hard. Yeah,
That's it.
that's what's happened. I get a quick reset, brother.
Go ahead.
This is Rock 25 and 13. Give me any plague for the plague of the heart, the mind, and any wickedness for the wickedness of a woman. So the first lesson, the wickedness of a woman, now the plague of the mind. That's wicked.
That's it.
Boy.
All right. That's why we brought out that Deuteronomy 28 and 28. Smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. All right. Damn traumatized. You see? The next one dead. The most high killed that one.
Horrible death.
See what I said? Now let's get that Romans 1. Start at 20. Yeah, boy, when I hear that, boy, I say, what the flip, eh? Yeah, boy.
Romans 1 and 20, for the invincible, invisible thing of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
Keep reading. You can read the whole rest of the chapter. I'll read it out.
Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as Yahweh, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own body between themselves, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this, Yahweh gives them up unto vile affection. For even their woman, they change the natural youth. Okay? into Celestia, turns natural youth into that which is against nature. And likewise, also the man feeling the natural youth of the woman, going in your left one towards another, okay?
Right.
Man with man,
Man with
working
man.
that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meet.
Right. Receiving in themselves the recompense of error which is meet. You know, not going into judgment. See, like I said, going into these different diseases and shit. All right, man with man, woman with woman. All right, that goes against nature. That's why they go against nature itself. Because when you look at it, and you look at two dykes, right?
Mhm.
One always the man, one always the woman, because the order is for a man and a woman to be together. When you look at them fissy niggas, all right, them pounds, guess what? Same thing. One always the man and one always the woman. All right, see, receiving in themselves the a recompense of error which was meet. That's why you get these different diseases out. All right, the mpox, the syphilis, AIDS, all of these different shit. You see? All right, but read on, brother.
And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them power to reprobate, to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of power, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things,
Right, and that's an advantage of evil things, man with man.
disobedient to parents. All right. 31. Without understanding, okay, covenant breakers, without natural affection, okay, implacable, okay, and merciful, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only to the sin, but of pleasure in them that
do that.
that do them.
Right. All right, so you having pleasure in that. You dead, man. All the things the brother just name off. All right, you living like that, you dead. She that liveth in pleasure, why she liveth is dead. You know? You dead, man. All right. So yeah, man, I just thought that I should bring that out. You know, the Jake master bad in the head, but
It's a lucky, right? I mean, you would wonder why things happening to Jake, but the Lord knows why things happening, and everybody be marvel, oh, this person died or whatever. We understand why they died because they flicking wicked.
that's it.
If you ask yourself, they think so all works will be brought into judgment, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
That's it, brother. And we not it being revealed. That's not sickness, boy. Like that's true judgment.
Done, and people see that, and they'll think or feel sorry for him, but without understanding that's judgment.
Anything that one get put to death, you know, that's it for that particular one. But this one, he got a long continuance. He got a he got that until he dead.
But that's mess up people's mind, you know.
And the most say when he ever quit that he give him long life.
That's it.
The last young Jake.
Everybody live.
The last, you're right. Not to cut you off, brother. Right.
Well,
the last young Jake will go on and let fellas them play with them. Never was the same. Everybody know what a young crackhead or what the boy used to make the videos.
Yeah. I know you mean.
Yeah, the young boy. He was never the same.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
And you're praying on camera.
Yeah, he was never the same. You see him be walking up and down. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing, boy. He shit serious in him.
Destroyed.
All for what? Finally, that's it, money. They ain't want to work. Get your thing by the sweat of your brow, you should come to bread. If you don't want to work, The only woman could do that. Not work and lay down on their back and get dance. Only woman could
That's
do
it.
that. Man ain't made to do that.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. You got it, brother.
Done. You know, and through the spirit, but you going into that. That's what the Most High put in my spirit to bring out. You know, title of that is the struggles of man. You see, because we know every day living inside this wicked world is a struggle. You see, whether it be work, whether it be family, whether it be dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, everything is a struggle. Shoot, we even gotta strive for the truth unto death. Even striving for this truth is a struggle. You see? And I'm gonna kick this off like Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. Let's start off with that. Right?
Just so to speak, you know, me and the Ark was talking this morning. You know, I said, why people so difficult? You know, first thing this morning, when we waking up, dealing with people shenanigans, man. You know, it's a struggle.
I wake up and we pray this morning. We wake up at the end of the day. Wait, yes. And it's so crazy. That's how we have to be very careful in this world, you know, because there are people who waking up in the morning, they go on to bed, they ain't get the most high thanks. They wake up, they ain't give the most high thanks. So they go on to bed with demons, they wake up with more demons, and now they trying to project that onto you. You see, that's how we have to be spiritually minded and always pray it up, because they waking up on full demon mode. You see? And then they're gonna want to project that onto you and cause you to possibly turn carnal. But once we keep in mind the scriptures and wisdom be our guide, we can know how to respond to them.
Yeah.
And if you feel as though you're getting to that point where like you just want to snap, let's call your brother. You know, let them know what's going on. Confess to one another, talk to each other, and you can bring out a precept that, hey, you know, to remind you.
Yeah, the band spiritually.
There you go.
Yeah. No, there ain't nothing wrong with flicking, getting yourself and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's help a lot, boy.
Yeah, man.
That's help.
Burn that off, man. A little bit.
I call a brother first thing this morning, dealing with people shit.
Yeah,
And then I call a lot of brother. That help me a lot.
Right.
You try fight it on your own.
What was I striving on?
This is Rock 4:28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Done. And when we look at that word strive, right? What does it mean to strive? Right? When we look at the word strive, you know, it means to make a great and persistent effort, right? Also to struggle vigorously. This title is in essence the struggle of man, right? So the strive means to struggle vigorously. And what it says, strive for the truth unto death. So you got to struggle for this truth unto death. And when you think about it, right, as a man, there's a lot of things when we deal with internally and externally that everybody fights and strives with on the daily. You see, every day is a fight, every day is a struggle, every day is some shit you got to deal with. You see? And again, family, work, even people you don't even freaking know, people who you have zero interactions with, you know, even dealing with them is a struggle sometimes. And you just there like, but I don't even know you.
Yeah.
You ever notice some people have an issue with you and you never had interaction with them? You know why? Because your light disturbs their demons. You see, they hate to see that light in you. You see? But that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Amidst all this, right, as men of the Lord, what we instructed to do, we have to keep a level head. We have to be level-headed amidst all this shit, right? Like that's what it's 25 now. See? Amidst all the bullshit, we have to keep a level head. You see, we can't be like-minded with the people of the world. We can't be carnally minded, because the scriptures tell us what happens with a carnal mind. Carnal mind is death. We always have to be spiritually minded, right?
Yeah, and this 1 Corinthians 9:25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Read that one more time, Allah.
All right, 1 Corinthians 9:25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
God, and to be temperate means to be free from extremes, right? Meaning to be level-headed. You ain't too overly aggressive and you ain't too overly passive. You see, we have to be temperate in all things because you have dealing with these people, dealing with things in the world, dealing even internally, you have to keep a level head because it's very easy to just make a decision, an irreversible decision. You see? Now, when we look at things like economy wise, right? Because we go into the struggles of man, right? And one of the biggest things when we struggle with is things with things are going on in the world, right? Let's start off with the fuel prices, right? The way things going right now in the world, right? Even just buying fuel is a struggle within itself. Getting to work is a struggle. Cooking is a struggle, right? Right now, the price of fuel is at an all-time high, right? The cost of living is also high, right? And Salakia, but right, the men of the Lord, we are and we ought to be temperate. Why? Isaiah 33 and 6.
This is Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time,
God,
and strength of salvation. The fear of the power, the Lord is his treasure.
God. So amidst all these things what's going on, we are able to be temperate. We are able to be level-minded because why? We have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that keeps us stable. Will be the stability of that in these times, right? And the thing is, the rising fuel prices and the rising cost of living. This new to you, huh? This new to you? This new to you? We've been talking about this long time. So we know we saw this coming.
Yeah.
You see, we spoke about these things long before they happened. You see, therefore, the Most High prepares for these things. Been talking about these things. When the Karagma come around, I ain't gonna be astonished. I can't gonna be astonished. None of us can be astonished. Nobody in the GMS camp would be astonished at it. Because why? These things that we've been speaking about from then. You see, the Most High preparing us for these things. Right now, right, we going through the same trial and hardship as everybody else in the world, but the difference, the difference is wisdom. You see, wisdom with us. That's what separates us that's what separates us from them. You see, Isaiah 33 and 6 say what? Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy time.
Right, that's gonna keep it stable in time to come.
Time. Keep us temperate. Right? Right now, in our country alone, right? In our country, right now they making legislation for the electrical vehicles. I think remember saying that right where the license on an electric vehicle is a lot cheaper than a license on a gas vehicle.
Oh, I even ain't know because the lock here. I even ain't follow that part because for the small vehicle good with $195. That price now down up to $250.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You see?
Then yeah. So you see why
Yeah.
that's what the majority of people was looking at. You see, and then like always license at the end of the month. Let's say, all right, June 30th, right? The last day of the month. Right? You go on and you pass that. You get charged every single day.
Every day? It used to be it's still supposed to be, it used to be every year.
Then you get charged late fee every day.
Oh.
Because you're supposed to license on that particular day. So one was focusing on
electrical vehicle
right,
body. That's
right.
why they slipped that in.
That's how they slipped that in.
They make right now electrical vehicles, paying taxes on them is at a reduced rate, right? And now, right, when you think about that, if the electrical vehicles is at a reduced rate, along with digital signatures are hastily being enforced, because that's how anybody who work, all the new hirees that join the government sector now, they have to have a digital signature. You see, they don't have the benefits that people who've been on the job a while now have. You see, they don't have health benefits as much. They don't have dental. They don't have vision. They pretty much hire them just to say they there. And you have the younger people, a lot of them don't even want to join the government sector no more because it ain't really as beneficial as it used to be.
Right, and the way I could say this too, not to go far off the topic. When you look at the new hirees and then they ain't qualified.
I just gonna see.
This man, you got the union president of custom and immigration. Then you got your boy to the prison, Yale, right? Claire. All right, and these people constantly say it, man. That's it. These new recruits and they ain't qualified.
So it's just a salary.
You know, they can't even read a simple sentence. A lot of them recruits.
They just go on there to say, well, hey, listen.
Like, each time you come here.
Right.
So they get
When government's supposed to seek the brightest amongst their citizens. You got it, brother.
I'm glad you bring that up. Because just the other day, we had a job fair at a college, right? Over 1,200 people been there looking for jobs, you know. And the company told them, come to the job fair with your resume and business attire. When I been there, like I was going to cook in there, carrying dragon slippers. 30 different agencies been there to hire people. They come there dragging slippers. Some people come, if you know 30 different jobs there, why you bring one resume?
Yeah.
You're supposed to bring copies. So they bring one resume, have to pay now to get copies, and when they go to the base, they don't even know how to do an interview. The thing is, and that's where these smartphones and social media make these people stupid because now they're going on chat GPT to give them answers on how to do an interview. They go on, they type in, let's say they want to get into cooking. All right, how to manage a cooking interview, and they give them all different talking points that they can ask the interviewer. So now you as the owner, you listening to this person talk, but yeah, but they smart, but yeah, they asking the right questions. And when you bring them in and you put them on the job, they stupid because they use AI to get them in, but they lack the know-how and the common sense to keep them there.
Well, that's not the average at its finest. What?
Right? And that's and so so messed up about it, right? It puts a struggle on us who got the sense because now we gotta deal with them.
What? Boy, there ain't nothing is damn brain yet.
That fool.
What? You ever been tired? I talking about really tired. You won't get tired, but deal with someone not being physically tired, you know, mentally tired, but to the point whereby you shut down. I got one story to tell, but that's another time.
Done.
But
And
you got
again,
it.
you know, all these things, right? But that ain't you. I'm sure you weren't surprised by that. And I'm not surprised by that, right? Because this stuff we've been talking about for a long time. We've been saying AI can start taking over these jobs. Because people using AI to get the job. People beyond the job using AI to do the job. They're saying nothing new. I say 33 and 6 one more time, Allah. The man of the Lord, we ain't surprised by this. We aware, we know what's going on. We know these things were gonna happen. That's why. Isaiah 33 and 6. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy time.
Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. And strength of salvation, the fear of the power of the Lord is his treasure.
Son, we've been hearkening about the digital world and the detriment that will come with it. You see, we've been saying by this digital world and mess plenty people up. Right? It's saying nothing new.
Yeah.
All it says is another struggle. You know, changing the struggle don't stop, it just changes, it just evolves.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, that's here to condemn the righteous and justify the wicked.
God.
All right, because what is going to happen? The righteous is going to think outside the box because you know we get our knowledge from on high.
God.
You understand? When you really think about it, you know, AI ain't got nothing on us. Israelite, we have the knowledge of the heavens. We get our knowledge from the supreme power, the creator of the heavens and the earth.
You know, to put a more, I think, man.
See what I said?
AI can't ever replicate it.
Yep. You think building those damn pyramids in Egypt, algebra. All right. Where you think these things come from? And who taught these things? All right. The Israelites.
How it is, the technology of today can't replicate the technology of the past. The technology of the past is more sophisticated than the technology of the day.
Yep.
Shoot. Need a mosaic, right? So now that's one of the struggles of man, right? You know, dealing with the fuel prices and AI and what's not, right? As a man of the Lord, we have to also remember, you know, with the precept in Matthew 10 and 36. You know what, Malak?
Matthew 10 and 36. A man's foes shall be there of his own household.
God. This is another struggle of man, right? For some people, right, it ain't really so big of a struggle, but for most, it could be life or death. You see, some people don't struggle with family. Some people with family is life or death, right? Sometimes family becomes forced unknowingly, right? And what I mean by that they become forced unknowingly, right? Let's say you may have something what you actively or even possibly dealing with, right? And a family member see it, and they may be trying to help you, you know, in a way where that they may deem helpful, right? But at the same time, it may not be helpful to you, and in turn, it seems more like an annoyance rather than a help. Because plenty times, let's say you're dealing with your hardship, right? And a family member come, you know, hey man, you know, cheer up this and that, and all the while you just trying to, well, just need to beat them themselves right now. And the more they try to and the more they try to add on and say they helping you, their intention might be really to help you, you know. But at that time, it didn't receive. That's like how the scripture goes into a word said in season or a word said, a wise word said out of time. If you bring a precept from last year. I think that's yeah. I think that's well, you mean a tail of the season? Yeah.
A tail of the season is a tail of the Sirach 22 and 6.
I had this was what the rock 20 and 20 the wise sentence will be rejected. When it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak in due season.
God. That's partially it. You have the Proverbs 15, it says that man has joy by the answer of his mouth and the word spoken in due season. How good it is. But yeah, but that's the gist of what I'm saying. You see, but at that particular time, they may be trying to help, but it's out of season.
But he ain't saying nothing wrong to you. It's just that he's saying at the wrong time.
The wrong time. You see, they may be trying to help, but now their help is seen as an annoyance. And a lot of times that has happened. You see? And when you think about that, right? Again, it's last year. Thought. Yeah, can't. They seem more of an annoyance than help. But that within itself, you know, requires a balance and temperance. You see? Why I say balance and temperance, even though you're going through what you're dealing with, you have to struggle with your flesh and your spirit to understand. All right, then they trying to help, right? All right, let me hear. I know I should listen to what they saying, but at the same time, they offering more of their comforts will be carnal. You see, so you more or less reject it. But the reaction will be different if it's a brother coming to you with that. Because you know the brother coming to you through the spirit. So it'd be in your best interest to hear what it is that the brother has to say. You see, the brother just gave a perfect example earlier today. You see? when he's dealing with he didn't sort kind of, company. He came and he spoke to a brother. And then when he spoke to another brother. And that within itself took temperance. You see? And he had to struggle between the flesh and the spirit not to tell the person what they asked. You see? The struggle between the flesh to react and the spirit to perceive and understand. You see? Notwithstanding, and this is, with that being said, this is a little sidebar, right? A little side note. Because at the end of the day, right? To you wives and you women out there, don't think y'all ain't gonna struggle neither, right? There's a little sidebar, for you wives out there. Just because your husband is understanding, right? And he may be quiet about certain things, doesn't give you the liberty to keep yapping him out, right? We spoke, I spoke earlier the struggle of a man supposed to be in there of his household. And there may be times where he may be wrong, but just because he may be wrong in an instance, don't give you the liberty to just yap out the mouth to keep harking on it. Because if he give you instruction to say, hey, that's enough, quiet with that, it would be in your best interest to do what? Keep quiet. You see? Let's get this Sirach chapter 25 and 20.
Done. Your job to follow that instruction, man.
Done. Regardless of how you may be feeling at that particular time. You might be right, but your emotions start to boil over to the point where as when he tell you, hey, enough. Because within yourself, you're right. Stay yapping. And from me say enough and you keep going on, that's disobedience.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
You see? Get us to Rock 25 and 20, Miller.
Rock 25 and 20. As the climbing up a standing way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
Done. So is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Again, even if you may be right about a matter, remember this precept, right? And be mindful of many words. If he instructs you to be silent and hold your peace, it will be in your best interest to do so. Remember Lot's wife? Remember Job's wife? You remember Jezebel? You remember Miriam? You remember Vashti? What was that? Every time they go off, they got punished. You see? And we just borrowed the precept earlier. You see? Y'all get punished for disobedience more severely than we get punished for disobedience. You see? Ain't no self-respecting man can protect a woman he has no rulership over. But if he say A and you ask him A.5, B, C, D, no, you're going off. If he say A is A, if he tell you come, you don't say you're gonna go do this. No. If he say come means come. You don't tell him you gonna go do this or you gonna go do that, regardless of how it is, how you feeling.
They call him, say, come here, you say, but make me come.
Boy.
Make me come then.
That was some of them.
Yes, boy.
And that's disobedience, regardless of how you feel it. Because imagine the Lord call one of us, right, or give us an instruction, and we turn and tell the boy, Lord, by your hand into that.
Oh, Lord, boy, make me come then.
What?
He joking.
We can't fix our mode to tell the Lord what we want to do. No, if he give us an instruction, we can't even tell him fix ourselves to tell him no. So how much more y'all, if you're supposed to be under subjection to us?
Done.
If you owe the pocket, you think any self-respecting man gonna want to protect you?
Nope.
Right now, things good. You got little, you gonna feel the liberty to do or be disrespectful. What's not right? But what happens when shit is to find when it really matters? If you're practicing that shit now, what you think can happen when the game start? When it really start? If you practice bullshit now, what you think you could do when you go out on the field? You can do bullshit. You see, right now, this is the proving ground. Doc said earlier, this is a sifting process within itself. You see, again, man can protect no woman when he don't have no rulership over, when he don't have no control over. Because they like to say, oh, you're controlling. Of course.
Man can protect what is his own.
God, he can protect his own. You see? Yeah, that's Sirach 25 and 25, Malak. Right? I can get that in another translation.
Correct.
25 and
Sirach 25 and 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to guard abroad.
God, give the one no passage or a wicked woman ability to God abroad, right? In the RSV, it says, allow no outlet to water, meaning don't let the water pass, right? And no boldness of speech in an evil wife. So even you may feel how you feel, but don't never go to your man speaking boldly on some bullshit. You see, whenever you go and you talk to them, it's with humility, with fear. You see, allow no boldness of speech. Let's get 1 Peter 3. Let's get 1 Peter chapter 3, Malak. And we can start at verse 1.
Let me set you down out.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, that's a lot here. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may, without the word, be won by the conversation of the wives.
Let's read the verse 4.
Verse 2. While they behold your chest conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting of the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on an apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High of great price.
God. So don't just appear to be submissive to your husband. You know, like when you're showing like you're bringing him and what's not, but then behind closed you're carrying on like a demon. You see, and especially that don't just go to the wives. You know, that goes to the men also, especially for us. Because you on camera, you may be showing that you use this, but behind closed doors, use a demon.
That scripture tell you don't be a lion in the house.
God.
You see, paraphrasing.
You can't fake this thing. You see, and get that same precept, in the RSV. It says, likewise, you wives, be submissive to your husbands, so that some, though they do not obey the word, may be won without a word by the behavior of their wives. So how you behave towards him, regardless of how you're feeling, would determine or could determine whether he turned to the Lord, or whether or even how he treats you. You see, if let's say he's angry, all right, because many times when being out in this wicked world, whenever you if you come home or wherever he is, you may come home a little upset, you may come home sad, you may come home happy, right? Because this world has beat us up, right? It has beat us up, and if you come home and you come to him nagging, what you think you can get reacted with? You see, but if you come to him, sweet, like, you come and you reverence him, you showing that in your behavior, not just telling him sweet things, but you showing him sweet things. He may be more receptive to it. But even if you show that to him and he receptive to it, just understand the situation, read the room. All right, then you probably just need a minute to himself. And then when he summon you, or when he call you, say, baby, come here. Then that's your opportunity to look a little stress earlier today. How was your day? Tell me about it. You don't determine.
I was gonna say, don't try to force of the river.
There you go.
Like you say, sense the energy in the room.
Done. You don't determine when you want to talk about things or when you want to address something what you say. You don't determine that. You don't determine how the conversation goes. That ain't your role. When he ready to address it, all right, then okay, then that's the opportunity to address it.
Or come to you humbly.
Done. You see? When they see your reverent and chaste behavior, and when you look at reverence, you come to them lowly, you come to them humble, you ain't come to them in boldness. Because the scriptures say, don't allow no boldness of speech. Because if you go to them talking boldly, who you talking to?
God.
Huh? Well, street. Let not yours be the outward adorning with braiding of hair, decoration of gold, and wearing of fine clothing. That's because you look nice, you smell nice. I mean, that don't mean he can be receptive to that. It goes beyond that. A man of the Lord, that he he goes beyond that. He goes beyond what you look like. You see? He taps into, all right then. Let me see what a spirit like today. If your spirit off, that's what he taps into. That you may look nice, but he goes beyond that. Right? Verse 4. But let it be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable jewel of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in Yahweh's sight is very precious. So the Most High use a gentle and quiet spirit as his delight. You see? So when we look at that, a gentle and quiet spirit is precious in the eyes of the Lord. So again, don't think y'all ain't going through the struggle too, boy. You see? Because your struggle is keeping your emotions in check. Your struggles is heeding to correction and instruction, regardless of how it is that you feel it. You see? It's a difficult struggle for y'all, but at the last, and you have to have faith. That's how we have to have faith in dealing with our day-to-day things and not knocking people's teeth down their throat. And we have to control ourselves with that. Y'all have to control, y'all have to show a form of temperance as well, regardless of how it is that you're feeling.
John, and you have the easiest job.
Gone.
You have the easiest job.
They don't see it that way though. They don't see it that way. You know? But that's just one of those things. Now, going back to the struggles of man, one of the biggest struggles of man is within himself. That is be the biggest struggle. And Paul broke that down beautifully. Right? Let's get Romans chapter 7.
Wretched man that I am.
14 to 24.
So the book of Romans Romans 14.
7. Verse 14 and 24.
All right. Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do I allow not. For what I would, that do I not.
Not here. That right there, right off the bat, that's a struggle. You see, the things you know you shouldn't do, you still end up doing it. The things you know you should do, you don't do it. That's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. And that is within. You see? And if you struggle from within, imagine having the struggle from within. And then while at the same time, you're struggling from without. So as a man, we struggle within and we struggle without. And what's the only thing we can keep you stable in that state? Wisdom.
Yes.
You see? You know that.
All right, verse 15 again. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that would I do. If I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. Now then, it is more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would do, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that, I would not. It is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my member. Right, and that's what he right. With 24, he said, "O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death?"
God, who shall deliver me from sin? Only Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai can do that. And in order for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to do that, wisdom have to dwell within you. Mhm. Wisdom have to be in you. Even though you are captive in this sinful flesh, this wicked flesh, you can't help but sin. He just break it down. Beautifully, Paul broke it down. Hey, you know you gonna make
No, I say in this conclusion, he say, oh, ratchet man that I am.
done. You see, you want to do good, but flesh just keep you from doing it. You don't want to do want to do evil, because the spirit's stopping you from doing it. But the flesh wants it. The flesh lusted unto death. The flesh lusted unto sin. The spirit loves righteousness. Oh, wretched man that we are. It's a constant battle, a constant struggle from within. While at the same time,
The battle within.
while at the same time, there's a battle without. You see? And when you battling without, people who battling their own struggle within, they bringing that to you. You see? So again, the only way to win that daily battle, that daily struggle within yourself, every day, you have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's the only way to win that. We sold unto sin, subject unto sin. And the only thing we could do is to mortify the deeds of the flesh and pray that we be filled up spiritually. That's the only thing we could do. We can't go there, cut the flesh off or kill yourself, because that's the sin within itself. We have to go through this. We have to struggle every day. There's a struggle. There ain't no rest days in this wicked world. None whatsoever. You can lay down in your bed thinking you resting, and you struggling internally because you got to fight between you're going to go slap somebody or go rob somebody or, doing the work. It's a constant struggle. You see, that's why the scripture tells us strive for the truth unto death. You see, and the Lord will deliver you. You see, the Lord will deliver you. Right? Every day, man, struggle. But we must do so in order to attain the crown. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he will receive the crown of life that Yahweh has promised to those that love him. James 1:12. You see? Again, Akim and listeners, so there every day is a struggle. The struggles of man is many.
It gets harder to get closer and closer to them.
Very, very. But you have to have wisdom, have to accompany you, and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai have to walk with you in order for you to see your way through.
Better meet you in every door.
God, you see, he ain't gonna be able to carry you all the time. He can walk with you, but he ain't gonna be able to carry you all the time. But he ain't gonna be comfortable all the time, bro.
Gotta prove you too in
He gotta
situation.
prove you.
Yeah.
You see, he gotta let you walk by yourself. Sometimes you may be walking on the hot road. You gotta walk. The Lord ain't gonna be able to always carry you over those hot rocks. You gotta suffer through it.
And sometimes he calling, you be crying, and you say, Lord, you hear me?
There you go.
But he allowed you to go through that test for a significant reason.
God, he hear you calling, And don't think he ain't watching. He hear you calling. But he watching to see, let me see how he can deal with that. Right? I want you to believe on him. If he see you going too far off, that's they rod and they staff, they comfort me, right? Correct. Oh yeah. All right, then you're back on the right track. You see?
Here's some point, right? I don't want to stray away from the topic. So yesterday, I was working and my vehicle was on one stroke. And gas nowadays, it don't flick and last in your car, man.
Yeah,
you could put $20 gas, you can't even burn AC for so long. That's how fast it burns. Right. So anyhow, man, my light was on. I was on one stroke. And basically, I was down on the highway. I had no money in my pocket. So I was like, how I gonna find some gas money? I was done almost by the junction, almost going nickel stop, right? So I was in the area doing my job. So I was like, how I can get gas? And then someone called me. I say, boy, the person said, man, come check out this job. So I say, if I go there and if I don't have the right material to do the job, I have problems. So I asked the customer what kind of unit he have. He said one of the new ones. So I said, boy, if he have one of those new units, then I don't have the certain material for it, the gas for it. So Man, I say, wait, only one thing can happen. I gotta have faith. And my mindset, I say, boy, I can have faith, man, whatever happens. So I had faith. I go on a journey to go check out the job. And I on one stroke, I say, boy, I could go, but I'm sure I'm coming back. And through the spirit, just riding on hope. When I went and checked with the job, the exact one, I had the materials for it. And the Lord blessed me right there and then, provide me with fuel money. I was able to put fuel in to get back home. And sometimes we got to go out on faith, man. Don't worry about the circumstance. Just go.
Let's go.
Just go. That's how the Lord has tried you.
All by faith.
That's it, brother.
Yeah, man, you speak about mortifying your members as well. And that's something that's needed. All right. This Colossians 3:5. It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. That's going into, your members. All right, which going into sin. You see? And this is what the flesh lusts after. All right. Paul said, what I find that he try to do good, but then when he do this, then sin is present with him. So therefore we got to mortify our members. See what I said? Then scripture goes on to say, in which he also walked sometimes when he lived in them. So the same way how you could yield your members as instruments to unrighteousness and sin, then yield these same members as instruments to the Most High. You see? That's what he said. But now ye also put off all these things: wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing ye have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in the knowledge after the image of him that created him. That's it. So we walking now in newness of life. But to see again, going back to yielding your members as instruments to the Most High, righteousness. All right.
Like they say, the struggle is real.
Right. That's it. And like the brother said, the greatest struggle is within self. So yeah, man. Lord willing, you got something?
Yeah. Like, go ahead, finish, brother. I want to say something quick, right? Because I saw something on TikTok. I saw a video and then I saw a picture, and the video, what it had was they showed two different types of meat. One was kangaroo meat, and one is oxtail. Now the one on the right was supposed to be oxtail, and the one on the left is kangaroo meat. But they look identical. They look alike. So if you don't know the difference, you could get fooled. Right? Now, come on, get Ezekiel 4:13, right? Because the oxtail has a circle in the middle, right? The kangaroo has a star. And I saw this Jamaican guy. I think he was a chef. I say, man, these people, they probably get it from Australia or something. The kind of, because that's mostly where them kangaroos be. Say, man, that's what they've been eating all the time. They thinking it was oxtail. So the one with the star is kangaroo meat, and the one with the circle is oxtail. And the scripture speaks about our bread being defiled. So, people might be eating these food and thinking it ain't actually what they think they're eating. All right? Hey, brother, you can bring that up.
This is Ezekiel 4:13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread amongst the Gentiles, but I had driven them.
Right. Our food, our bread is our food. And one of the places the Lord driven us is on this side of the earth. All right. So a lot of food we see over here is gonna be really defiled.
Yeah.
Right. And people, so I look at the comments, right? You can have an Eve. When the guy broke the news, Eve can say on the comment, well, it tastes good, you know what I mean? To justify whatever. But they don't know the ramifications of eating now that you know the ramification from eating kangaroo, right? I can just bring out some, brother. It says eating kangaroo meat can pose several health risks, primarily related to foodborne bacteria, parasites, and heart health conditions or considerations. Meaning, so when you see a lot of our people sick, it's because of what they consume. And a lot of people just consume because they don't know, they don't check on these neighbors, they don't try inquire about nothing.
And they like to say, man, something yeah.
Exactly. That's basically what she's saying. You know, it says because it is a game meat and often sourced from the wild, it requires careful handling, thorough cooking to prevent illness. But we know that's garbage because that's unclean.
Yeah.
It says the primary ailments and risks associated with eating kangaroo meat includes salmonellosis, like any meats raw or uncooked. Kangaroo can harbor salmonella bacteria, leading to severe diarrhea, abdominal cramps, fever, and vomiting. Then toxoplasmosis. Kangaroos can carry the parasite. Consuming raw or undercooked meat can result in toxoplasmosis. All right, so all these sickness and diseases you eat because of what you consume. And
Yeah.
when I saw it, I say, what? I couldn't believe it. It looked just like oxtail, but it ain't oxtail. So you all the time using kangaroo meat.
And you know, kangaroo, that ain't famous food.
Exactly.
You know, but Pastor Pork Chop, that's how he like eat meat.
Exactly.
He like eat meat gaming.
Yeah. You know, then you get the Q fever, then you have the cardiovascular risk. So all kind of things plaguing our people and they don't even know, you know. So you got to be mindful and watch, you know, that's why all this information out, and you can't trust your enemy because we got to go on it. You got to go to him and one of all things.
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful of what you consume. I couldn't believe that. So when you go in these stores, look for if they have a star, you know, definitely that's kangaroo. All right, the one with the circle, that's oxtail. I can send the pictures to the group. So be mindful what you consume.
So yeah, man. So with that, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Makakwadash, Shalom, and the Bad Babab.